Welcome to the Locksmith Security Network. LSN is your powerful resource, hosted by Winton for all things locksmith and security.
All right, we are recording, and I am with Ashley Porter, who has a lot of really cool information to discuss with us today. This is the Locksmith Security Network Podcast. Ashley, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll go ahead and get started in the interview here.
So I've been working as, I guess, in the locksmith industry for a little under 20 years. I oversee our retail store and our locksmith department, and I was just recently promoted to vice president back in January.
That's awesome. Yeah. So vice president. So what are some of your roles as vice president?
I do a lot of the administrative stuff. So I'm kind of administrative assistant to Crest, my dad, also the owner. I do payroll. I do all of our invoicing. So real large invoices and, regular service calls. And then I'm in charge of HR. So hiring, posting ads for hiring. And then I oversee our retail store, which isn't really vice president worth, but I oversee the retail store and our locksmith department. So all the guys that work in that field, I oversee their projects and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When we talk about background and career path, can you share a little bit of your story? How did you first get into locksmithing, and eventually how did you get to this role at Crest Lock?
So, I was kind of born into it. I'm third generation, but I can just remember as a kid, I'd always come here. We had a different location back then, but I would come hang out with my dad. I'd be fascinated with all the keys and the skeleton locks. And if my grandpa was around, he would give me the keys and let me take them home. But I didn't really plan to be here. I had started here when I was in high school, just answering the phones, doing some receptionist stuff. And we had sent one of our locksmiths at the time out on the road, and my dad asked me to cover the store. And then since then, I kind of just, stuck with it. I stopped going to school and kind of worked here full time, and just kind of learned and taught myself everything to do with the store, all the different key blanks, cutting keys, freaking the locks there. I think I really enjoy locksmithing because I'm always learning something new. So it's kind of fed my passion to constantly be learning something.
Right. Yeah, that's it. I hear this story so often, like very few times do I hear, I always wanted to be a locksmith, and I wanted to be a locksmith when I was a kid. Like, most people don't even know that that's an option until you lock your keys in your car, or have to get, your house rekeyed or something. Like, you don't even realize that's an option as a security professional. And then we just kind of fall into it. Like, one day, like you say, you just kind of get called into it or tossed into it, or you have family that does it, and you got to kind of step in and play a role. And then once you get your foot in it, it's a sticky security industry. You just kind of stick to it, and it just kind of like brings people into it in a good way. Do you agree or?
No, 100%. I had no interest ever doing this. I grew up, I had all kinds of other plans, and then I just was here because I was helping my dad. I started out of high school helping my dad, and then I just started to like it and started to be good at it. And that also helps when you like something, is when you're good at it.
Yeah, exactly. Did you always envision yourself working in the security locksmithing industry, or just, we've kind of already gone over that. It's something that you kind of discovered along the way. And like you say, you stuck your foot in it, and then it just never let go, right?
Yeah, I just, I was going to school for completely something else. And I just slowly got out of like being a dispatcher and answering phones, and more in the hands-on part of it and more of the technical side of it. And that's, I think, what I really gravitated towards, and the customer service side of it. So I like being with customers, talking to them, and then learning all the different things about locksmithing.
Oh yeah. As far as women in locksmithing, this is a pretty male-dominated industry and field. What perspectives or strengths do you feel you bring to the profession? Like, what characteristics do women bring to this profession?
So from my experience, I feel like we bring a softness and a kindness that comes like hand in hand with customer service, but then you add it to locksmith and it kind of elevates it a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's what kind of helps with rapport with customers. I think that a lot of my customers come back because, you know, of the kindness and the approach they get, as opposed to just, meeting just a random locksmith at the counter. They have a different experience when me or one of my other associates that's female helps them.
Right, right. And I've had three, one, two, three, make sure I count right. One, two, three different female employees, and they always pick up the lock picking faster than the guys do. Like guys just get so frustrated and
Mhm.
heavy-handed, and it's that light tension and it's that light delicate touch that really starts to evolve your lock picking skills, and it takes time to learn that. But as men, we kind of get frustrated, so we push harder and jam the pins harder, and then you break stuff, and it
Yeah.
just it I always found it very, very fulfilling when I could give some tips, and the females would just pick it up super, super quick. I mean, it was really, really cool to watch that. And the female employees did great. They really, really did. It's just a lot of times they ended up moving on to something else. This wasn't something they
Mhm.
wanted to do forever because it is a pretty labor intensive type of job. So if there isn't something to go into administrative as people get older, it becomes kind of hard to find your spot. People probably don't want to be in a van out there turning wrenches at 50, 60 years of age. But for the most part, I mean, the women have done amazing. I almost look forward to teaching. Like if a woman
Mhm.
applies and a man applies, I'm like, all right, we'll give them both an equal shot here. And a
Right.
lot of times I kind of almost like it if they get the job because they just listen and just add that finesse to it. And the customer service aspect of it comes as well. Oftentimes men have that ego that kind of gets in the way of things and can
Yeah.
cause some problems with confrontation and whatnot. Um, but what has your experience been connecting with other women in locksmithing? Do you see the number of women in locksmithing growing? I think it is.
So I was a LOA scholarship recipient a couple years ago, and
Mhm,
I met quite a few great ladies in the locksmith. There was two other recipients that I met, as well as some ladies at like an event.
mhm,
But I did a horrible job of staying in touch. We lived all over, different
mhm,
areas and stuff like that. I will say that us here, we try to hire women and give them a role here.
mhm.
It's where I started. I've hired quite a few other women underneath of me to work in the retail store. And then if they decide that they don't want to still be in the retail store, but they want to use those skills in another department, they can either, move up here or they could go somewhere else and take what they've learned from us. So I know we try to give that opportunity to as many women as we can here in the store.
Yeah.
And then if they want to, do hardware, quoting, that kind of stuff, they're not allowed to go on the road. It just, I haven't had any candidates that have really wanted to move in that direction.
Oh, gotcha. 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 How do customers tend to respond when they realize they're interacting with a female locksmith?
So I think I catch them off guard sometimes when I get called to the counter.
Mhm.
They might, think I'm just either a receptionist or somebody, they don't necessarily know that I'm there to actually have the answers to their question. So I tend to catch them off guard. Sometimes if there's a guy standing next to me, one of my counter partners, they might look at him or address him when they're talking to me, but typically I'm the one who has the answer. So they kind of change their tune or my guy will say, that's her department. She'll take care of you.
Right, right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you notice any differences in how men and women customers interact with you?
Um, Women, I don't think it doesn't catch them off guard as much as men.
Mhm.
Men can sometimes take a little bit longer to like embrace, and then sometimes they don't think I know what I'm talking about, so it sometimes comes off. It's a little bit harder to get I guess, to convey what I need to tell them or something like that. But for the most part, I have a lot of repeat customers. So the ones that I've won over, the ones that I've been able to solve their problem, they come back quite a bit.
Right. And building on that, what strategies have you found most effective for building trust and professional relationships with your customers?
Being honest, nobody wants a car salesman.
Right.
So, being transparent about how long it's going to take, what the process is, how much it's going to cost, and, what the value is getting the job, booking the job from us or buying the parts from us, and, what our warranty is, that kind of stuff, just being real transparent with everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you ever had any situations where, you just have a very chauvinistic customer and they're just, they don't want to deal with you, they want to deal with somebody else, and how have you kind of handled that?
I don't know that I've had anybody that's chauvinistic. I feel like I've had some people that are know-it-alls. Like it wouldn't matter who told them what. They, were a locksmith 20 years ago because they put a doorknob on their mom's house or something. And
Right.
so they just know it. And then when I give a response, they might second guess me and all. But I mean, I kind of just let them know what it is and this is their options, and they either take it or leave it. And sometimes they come back because I prove them right. I've had quite a few customers try to tell me how to program a car and that they could do it themselves. And I'm like, that's not how that works, but good luck with that.
With their
So,
Amazon key.
yeah, couldn't tell you how many times I told them, don't do it. Don't buy it on Amazon. It's,
Just
especially if it's a Nissan, don't
throw your
do it.
money away. Yeah.
But, sometimes you win. And I mean, sometimes you just have to draw the line too. A customer
Yeah.
comes in the store with a key that they bought on Amazon because their buddy did it and da 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 da. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. Like it's going to cost you money and you're not going to get a refund. Like
Now you're just
it's
building
not
a
worth
bad
it.
review
Right.
in the waiting. They're just
Exactly.
you're cooking up the customer to come back and attack you.
Yeah. Nobody wants a bad Google review. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was one of the biggest challenges is I would get people who would call and I would send a female technician out and there would just be some people that are like, well, she just doesn't know what she's doing or this or that. And I wouldn't have done it any differently. Like she did
right.
exactly what she was supposed to do. Like, in fact, she probably paid a little bit more attention to detail than I would have
Sure.
and probably costed more things. But it's hard to break people's opinions when they already have that built in over years and decades. What have been some of the biggest challenges and obstacles that you've faced in your career, and how did you overcome them?
I feel like work-life balance is probably the hardest thing for me. I'm like
Mhm.
110% here.
Mhm.
And it's very hard. You want to be a full-time parent, and you want to be there for everything for your kids, and then you want to give them your undivided attention when you get home. And it's hard, being a locksmith, you're always on call. I answer the phones 24/7 here. So just trying to find that balance. And I'm still working on it, but being able to be what I need to for my kids and then also, give 110% here.
Right. Is this going to be a generational locksmith company? Do you think your kids are going to have any interest in it?
I don't think so. My oldest is definitely going to be a teacher. So
Oh,
she's got
yeah.
her heart set on being a teacher. And we're in that process of college and all that stuff. And my youngest, she's too young to make any decisions, but whatever she does, it'll probably actually, I could see her being in a very labor intensive job.
Mhm.
Um, but something I don't foresee her being a locksmith though.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, neither of my kids took interest in it either, and that's fine, they can
Hmm.
do whatever they want, and we're happy to support whatever they wanna do, but yeah, it just didn't interest them at all, so sometimes you fall into it, and who knows, maybe they might try a couple different careers and in 10 years, that might be a different story. They might say, "Oh, well, maybe that's not that bad," and kinda get an itch for it.
Hmm.
Um, what advice would you give women who want to break into the locksmith industry or other male-dominated industries as well? Like, what was kind of your hammer to break down those barriers, and what would you tell other people?
So the philosophy I probably live by is to do hard things and to enjoy what you do. I think they go hand in hand. So if you enjoy what you do, it's not going to be as hard as you think it is.
Mhm.
I tell my kids not to quit hard things. So it is harder as a woman in the industry. I just think, there's just so many things that you're up against. And it's not something that comes as natural to women as it would. So you have to kind of have that applied kind of ability that comes with locksmithing. It's just not something that you can just teach yourself. You have to like it.
Oh yeah. You have to fall in love with it really in order to stick with it, or it'll kick your butt. That's for sure. Yeah. If you don't thoroughly enjoy it, that could definitely cause some problems. And I think that's where the passion really comes from is, when I can go out there and I get a phone call on the day before Christmas that some people just flew in and they forgot the keys to their storage locker, or it's malfunctioning, and literally kids' Christmas presents are in there. And like, there's not going to be a Christmas tomorrow if we don't go open this door. It kind of almost gives you that. It's like a superhero power. It's like a superpower. It really, really is. Especially like safe opening. They just think, oh, this is impossible. What are they going to do? They almost kind of don't believe that you can do it. And then you come by and click, 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 and there it is. A little while later, there it is. And they're like, wow, you kind of shock them and blow them away. And then you're also the savior of the day too. The savior of the day is if you unlock a door, you got a kid in a car or dog in a car or something like that. And you come by and save the day. Like, you're never going to see a more thankful client or have a more thankful experience than that right there. And something that might even hit a little bit closer to home too is like domestic violence situations. When we come out there and we're not there for the money, we're registered. We're on a call list for the advocacy center, where if somebody calls, we get out there and we get them taken care of. We don't care about payment. We'll worry about payment later, or we just volunteer the services and then write it off on taxes later. And the main point is, let's get people safe first and provide them. If I can provide another human being with a sense of safety and security for the night, so they're not borderline on a panic attack or in a panic attack, that really feels good to me. And that's kind of how we give back to the community. And I really feel very grateful and special to be able to give that gift back to the community. Do you guys do anything like that at your shop, or what do you guys think?
It depends. We have a philosophy here that we treat everyone like they're someone's grandma. So because, you get a lot of customers that come in here that are swearing that someone's breaking into their home because they have dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, or they're losing their stuff all the time, and and they come in and they're probably the meanest customers. People over 70 can be pretty mean and less tolerant of all my customers here, but everybody gets treated the same way, that there's somebody's grandma, and that's just, and we genuinely try to take care of those people.
Yeah, for sure. How do you guys deal with a lot of those situations? Like in the security, if you're a locksmith or a security professional and you've done it for more than 2 or 3 years, you've had the phone call of, they keep getting in, and then you go out there and rekey the facility. They keep getting in. Kind of a red flag. That's kind of weird. There's some leashy tools out. If it's not high security locks, it's plausible. Maybe we can rekey it again, or we can upsell them to some high security locks. Okay, now we've put, ASA or Medico or Multilock or whatever XYZ company, Primus or whoever you like with your high security lock company. And sure, there's some videos of those getting picked on YouTube. Yeah, but is the average person going to be able to go out and pick that lock out in the wild and not been familiar with it ever before? Perhaps chances are very, 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 very low. It's not impossible, but it's very, very, very low. And then after that, they keep getting in again. And then all of a sudden, well, we're the only ones that can make that key blank. We're the only ones that can do that. We're the only ones. Well, then now all of a sudden it gets turned. Well, maybe now you're getting in. So at what point do you guys kind of identify it, draw the line, and then what is your policy? Like, do you just fire that client, or what? Like, explain how you guys deal with that scenario.
So we've never fired a client for that kind of reason. I have had a couple customers who I had one lady, she was concerned about her locks and this and that. So, and I wasn't sure if there was some health issues there. So I spoke to her son and kind of just said, hey, listen, she's got the best lock that she can have on her doors.
Mhm.
We've rekeyed this multiple times. There's some other way someone's getting into this home, or there's something else going on.
Mhm.
Um, and her son was like, okay, I'm going to put a Ring camera in her door. So that way she knows if someone's coming in and or out. And like, I haven't seen her since.
Mm.
There's another lady that I won't keep her key records on file. I'm like, every time we come out there, we rekey your locks. So that way there's no chance that I could ever be,
Accused.
there's actually, I think I have 3 customers that are the same exact way. One customer, I don't even know where his home is. He comes in and he's John Doe in my computer system. I don't keep his name. I know what his name is because he comes in with a badge, but I don't refer to him as his name. I literally just say, he's in my system as John Doe, but I don't keep any of his records. And he buys locks from different locksmiths, and he'll have us. He has locks from me, has locks from other competitors, and we just take turns rekeying the locks that he has. And I actually even bought him a service center in PA, and I let the distributor there key his lock, and then they just ship it to me. So I don't even have his records,
Mm.
and it's not even on my sidebar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've had some where they just won't stop calling. They just won't. We've literally just had to. All right, we're going to put this in the phone as do not work for anymore. But it's usually that progression. It's usually come out and rekey once. Obviously, that's what we do all day long, 24/7.
Right.
Rekey twice within 30 days, a month, 90 days. If it's been under a year, okay, that's possible. But why are we doing it? They keep getting in. An ex-husband keeps getting in. Okay, maybe plausible. Did we do a perimeter search? Did we really check everything out? And then, okay, well, would you like to upgrade to high security locks? Because, locks can be
Right.
picked. There's lots of videos on that. And then it starts to get into a gray area where, are you taking advantage of this customer, or are you actually providing them with peace of mind? And the answer is yes to both. It quite literally is to some degree. But when we've put the high security locks on and now they still keep getting in, now we kind of know, okay, we have something else going on here. And then, like you said, the video surveillance. But I mean, ours have just gone, oh yeah, they're blocking the cameras, they're hacking my cameras, they're deleting the footage. Now
Yeah,
we know
I've heard
red
that
flag,
too.
beep, buzzer, just everything. Okay, yeah, we're not dealing with somebody who is mentally capable of having a sound conversation in reality anymore. And it's been to the point where we're there with the sheriff's department and we're there with the alarm company, and they're putting up motion sensors and cameras and this and that, and I mean just everything under the book. And okay, now I'm not going to be rekeying these locks anymore. I'm not selling you any more security. I'm not upselling anything else, because we're not dealing with somebody who's dealing with a rational thought process anymore, in my
Right.
opinion. And I can't morally continue to take their money knowing that they're just going to keep coming back like an addict, just trying to feel secure. We tried
Right.
3 different times to allow that to happen. And I certainly wouldn't want to push somebody away either, because it has happened where, somebody did have somebody breaking in and somebody was buying, lock picking tools and leashy tools and stuff online and watching lock picking videos. And the ex-husband was getting back in and it
Right.
was on camera. And then we put high security locks on there and it solved that problem and it went away. So, but yet again, like you're starting to encroach on that red flag territory. Okay, the ex-husband's getting in. Okay, we rekeyed. Okay, he's still getting in. All right, let's put some cameras up. We found the problem. We can see the problem, and you're not denying the proof and evidence of the video footage. As soon as we
Yeah.
start denying video footage, it's game over. We're not having a coherent conversation anymore. Big issues in the industry too, and a lot of people are very, very opinionated about how far to take that and how far you should go with it. But again, I think it's up to the individual business, up to the individual owner. I certainly wouldn't want to see anybody taken advantage of. And like you said,
Right.
treat them like your grandma, treat them like your mom.
Yeah.
What if your mom was coming in? And then once we do realize we've got a red flag situation, we'll try and notify law enforcement. We'll tell them, hey, I don't know if you guys can send somebody out, find out. It's not my job to like find out who their relatives and kids and stuff are. If they'll
Right.
tell me, maybe I can get a name. Do you have a son? Do you have a daughter? Do you have family in town, or a friend or a neighbor? And then kind of, huddle up with that neighbor. I think you should be paying attention to these things, and they'll either say, oh yeah, that we've been noticing a decline, or, oh my God, are you serious? And yeah, we should really start paying attention to this. We see it all the time in this industry. And these are the beginning signs of some kind of dementia, Alzheimer's, some kind of mental illness of some sort.
Yeah, I've gotten their family members involved sometimes when I felt like there's definitely some health
Yeah.
issues going on there, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. A church, a friend, a neighbor, somebody, or if, like I said, all else fails, call up law enforcement. Hey, you send somebody out. You might want to get an officer out. You might want to just and tiptoe around things. And this is what we think is happening. And we're just trying to get this person the help that they need, because my gosh, if you put yourself in that person's position, I believe that they think people are getting in.
Yeah, 100%.
And that is freaking them out, and it is stressing them out. And this is a basic human need. Security is a basic human need. Food, shelter, and security. These are and water, like 4 elements of human necessities. And when you take one of those away, you can really have some pretty significant issues with that. But let's get back on track here, and let's talk about some leadership and the future of your company. As vice president of Crest Lock Company, what does your leadership look like, and how do you support your team's growth?
So I work with Chris hand in hand. Sometimes we come up with ideas and, we have opposite ideas of how we should do something, and we, go at it for a minute, and then we come in and come with a better idea, brainstorming together. We try to treat it like a family here. A lot of the guys that have been working for us have been working here, before, I was here. One guy worked here literally the year I was born up until he retired at, 36 years. Most of them are uncles or brothers or, guys I grew up with. We have a very long-standing rapport with all of our guys here, and we treat them like we know that stuff comes up, and they have families and emergencies come up and health issues, and we just kind of support them. But we also are running a business and trying to make sure that the business is still running, and we're taking care of our customers, but then also making sure that our employees are happy at the end. So I think I help facilitate that a lot and support that.
Right. You kind of I say employees usually clock in a little late, do the bare minimum that's required not to get fired, and will clock out a little early. Teammates clock in a little early, go above and beyond, and stay a little late when it's required. And I will take a teammate over an employee any day of the week.
We have such a good group here, and and we really do try to instill, even in the interview process, that this is a team here, that we're all here. Everybody supports each other. There's no job descriptions here. It's just everybody has a role to play, and we all support each other, just so that it's more of a unit. All the guys here are best friends with each other, and really get along. So there's a lot of harmony. And then same with the office staff. We try to keep it as harmonizing as possible here.
Right. That's good. That's good stuff. Where do you see the locksmithing profession headed in the next decade, and how can women play a bigger role in shaping that future?
I think with AI, it's going to get better. I hope to see it grow. I think with AI advancements, you'll see a lot of that. I think women play the role in providing that customer service aspect, and the more women that are involved in it, the better approach you're going to have from a company standpoint. I think that they just add that value that you lack when it's just one person running a company, or just one person, kind of doing it all. I think women that support a team and stuff like that can definitely improve the industry.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of AI, this is one of those things again too, where when you really think about it, this is probably one of the last professions that AI is going to take over, or completely just not need a person for. AI is going to enhance our industry.
Yes.
Just the security, the way that, layering things with sensors and cameras, and is this person here at this time, and biometrics, and does this camera see this person with their biometric signature that's opening this lock at this time, and you kind of layer those things together. AI is adding how to build those platforms, and then how to search those platforms when it does come time. Oh, we had an error in the audit trail, 30 days ago. What happened with that? Let's piece that puzzle back together. And then, not to mention, just government agencies. Like, if you're walking around anywhere now or driving, you're on camera. You are on camera. Facial recognition, biometric recognition, all of these things are just kind of coming together in this melding pot that is the security industry. It's really not even the locksmith industry anymore. It's the security industry, because you're layering all those different things together. Access control definitely looks like it's going to be taking off. I would refer to it as the platinum age of the industry right now, not even the golden age. It's higher than that right now. I don't know what your shop is experiencing, or if you guys specialize in access control, but
we do.
Yeah, you guys do. Good. Are you getting a lot of multifamily living units?
So we do a lot of university stuff, a lot of county government buildings and all. So a lot of colleges, private schools. We go all the way. We're based out of Middle River, but we go up from here to St. Mary's County and stuff like that, and support their access control. We do a lot of camera stuff. A lot of the systems that we offer are AI and have the facial recognition and that kind of stuff, and those features that.
Yeah, that's where everything's at. There's some stuff out now. I don't know whose cameras you guys are working with, but I've been putting some Almeta stuff up, and my goodness, the AI-based color technology, like, it looks like it's dusk at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's color night vision. It's really, really cool. And it, instead of that gradient, kind of grayscale, like, I can see the grass is green, a blue car drove by, the sidewalk is gray. Like, it's really cool.
We are a DW, or Digital Watchdog, and Spico dealer.
Okay.
I think we do some other systems, but those are our two major, companies that we use.
Yeah. Nice. You guys do a lot of hardwired access control and, like, door operators. You guys install door operators and
handicap openers. Handicap openers.
Mm-hmm.
We do pretty much anything on swinging doors. We don't do sliding doors. So handicap openers, panic bars, strikes, electric hardware. So we're big Von Duprin, Allegion.
Yeah,
As
college campus stuff. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Von Duprin's everything.
Yeah.
So they don't have somebody in house doing it, or if it just exceeds their skill set, they call you guys in?
Most of the private colleges around here don't. Some of the like public colleges, I think. So the colleges that are ran through the state, they do. They have their own in-house locks. Everybody kind of has their own in-house locksmiths at the colleges around us, but we support, like, there's 2 or 3 schools that we support their locksmith department because they just don't have the staff or the infrastructure for it. And then anything that's electric, especially for new construction, new buildings, that kind of stuff. We're working with the contractor who's working for the school that we're installing their card access, all their electric hardware, and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What is your number one, like, from the shop? What is your number one income source? Is it commercial? Is it automotive? Is it people coming into the shop, or is it the road tech guys? Like, what?
So for my retail store, it's probably automotive. But for the company, it's probably commercial access control, and then probably sistered with commercial cameras. We do a decent amount of residential locksmithing and stuff like that, and commercial locksmithing, but access control is definitely probably one of our biggest categories here.
Yeah, and then you kind of pair it together. You start off with the access control, and then, hey, we do the camera systems too. Well, if we already like you and trust you, that's the biggest thing is if you can. I'm just finding that with the limited amount of skilled labor that is out there right now, finding somebody that will answer the phone, sound intelligent and professional, emphasis on the second part, show up when they say they're going to show up, do what they say they're going to do, and stick to their bidding and pricing as much as possible within reason. There is just an unlimited sea of work to be done. I mean, it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and I don't see any end in sight at this particular point in time.
It's hard. We try to make sure that we're taking care of our existing customers, that we're keeping them as forever customers, and making sure we meet their demands and stuff like that as they add facilities or they add locations and stuff like that. But it leaves very little time to any new business that comes through the door. But we have a good team. We have quite a few project managers here that help support that, especially for the new customers.
Yeah, that's just it. And then once again, just having those leaders and having those teammates and that team you can lean on, that's really what it's all about. If you don't have that, it's so difficult to try and grow. If you try and micromanage everything, it's just impossible to try and grow. And you have to be able to trust the people that you have hired, just like they have to trust you that you're going to be able to keep them employed and keep them supported and treated fairly as well. What are some of your strategies for keeping technicians? Do you guys offer any kind of bonuses or early completion bonuses, or do you offer percentage payouts or after hours percentages or anything like that?
We try to do bonuses as often as we can. We try to be competitive with wages and stuff like that. I don't get too involved in I submit payroll, but I don't get too involved in who makes what and that financial aspect of it. But I know my boss here just tries to make sure that if they're making him money, they're making money and stuff like that. So he's supporting them to keep them happy and to keep them here.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What kind of vans are you guys running? You got different.
We have some older NVs, but then the most newest vans we have are some transits and some pickup trucks that have the bodies on them. We have 2 aerial lifts that we tow for when we do camera jobs and stuff like that. So we've got 2 pickup trucks, a 250 and a 350, that will tow the aerial lifts and stuff to the projects that we need them for. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you guys have your own shop. Are you renting a shop in an area where a lot of foot traffic comes in? Or are you kind of out a little bit?
We own the building here. So I think he bought this about 11 or 12 years ago. We used to be renting a space in a pretty non-populated spot. There wasn't a lot of road exposure. So where we are now, there's a ton of road exposure. We're right on, I don't know if you would know this, but Route 40, which is a super busy roadway in Baltimore. And yeah, I mean, our walk-in traffic is huge compared to what it was over at our old location.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like that made a big difference, just getting that foot traffic coming in through the door. People see the sign. It also gives you a little more credibility, a little more legitimacy. Oh, I've driven by for the last decade and I've seen this company here versus, fly-by-night trunk slammer type.
Yeah.
That just, pop up everywhere. Do you guys do safe work? Do you install safes or sell them or do any?
We sell them. I actually am one of the people that does most of the selling here as far as the safes are concerned. We're an AMSEC and a Gardell dealer. And then we do a little bit of safe opening. We're slowly getting more into that. I have a guy that's he's been in the business for a while, and he's worked for us for a couple years, and he's really into it. So he's taken some safe classes and he's educating himself. He's a student of it. So he's constantly always teaching me things and investing in it. So we're slowly getting more and more involved in that.
Yeah, that's good. Are you a member of any associations?
I think I'm pretty sure I'm a member of ALOA. I know I was. The whole organization is. And then I'm not a member of anything else, I don't think. I don't know if anybody else here is. I know we subscribe to Clear Star and stuff like that, but I don't, and I'm part of NASDF, but that's just, to support car work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like you guys have a well-established, nice, humming little business that just, keeps churning things out. You plan on continuing to grow and continuing to
Mhm.
add. Do you have a formula for adding a truck and a technician?
I am very new into the brains behind the operation here. So my dad has so many different things that he, does with numbers and all, and how to make it successful and keep it successful and that kind of stuff. And he's been doing a good job. We've been here since 69. So I think my dad's had it since 90 or 89, something like that. So he's been doing it for a really long time. So he's kind of teaching me his ways, and I'm just kind of absorbing it all. So, eventually when he retires, I know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to take things over and be the owner, most likely.
I mean, I think that's the plan. I mean, as long as it works for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a couple years for that. But I mean, I know I'll be his right hand until,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that's great. It's
Yeah.
good to have a good vision and start to understand all that stuff and kind of, you have to understand all of the different moving parts so that you can plug the correct people into those
Mhm.
parts as you have turnover or as you grow and as you expand. So this has been great. This has been a great conversation. What do you want to leave behind for the locksmith industry? What kind of legacy or what do you want to leave behind for the industry, for your team, for your people, just for what you do for the industry?
I guess I kind of want to shake things up that like not all locksmiths fit in a box. I'm not a traditional locksmith. I mean, I know locksmithing, but I'm limited to my store. So, by definition, it's a person that repairs locks and works on locks, but we do so much more than that. I'm a hardware consultant. I build master key systems. I mean, I do so much, but that's kind of not broken down enough. So I kind of want to kind of break a box open, not put like so many limiting labels on things.
Yeah, yeah. Like you say, we're kind of breaking out of that locksmith box and spilling over into the security professional
Mhm.
aspect where I mean, even the best people will tell you, like maybe back in the 70s and 80s, you could do everything. You could do auto, you could do commercial, you could do
Mhm.
safes, you could do residential, and access control really wasn't even that much of a thing at that point in time. And you could cover all those topics and be very proficient at it. Now that would be absolutely impossible. Like
Oh yeah.
it's like a doctor. Like you want to be a brain surgeon, you want to be a heart surgeon, you want to be a hand surgeon, you want to be a specialist, and then be the go-to specialist in that area of expertise in today's industry. At least that's what I kind of like to see, and that's what I like to point my text to. What do
Mhm.
you want to do? What do you like working on? What do you not like working on? And then let's just kind of focus you on in that direction. So, well, this has been an awesome conversation. Do you have anything else to tell anybody out there, the future ladies in locksmithing that might be a little shy, a little intimidated? Maybe give them some words of encouragement to just kind of put yourself out there and do it. I mean, like I said, I really am a huge fan of hiring female locksmiths. It really works out well.
Well, if they're in Baltimore and they're looking for a job, we are hiring, so they can come see me. They'll definitely, get an interview. But yeah, just if this is what feels right for you, follow it. Follow it for as long as you can, and don't let it limit you. If start in a store, but then you want to do hardware, you want to go through DHI and take classes and become a hardware consultant or a fire door inspector or something like that, follow your passion and where that leads you. Don't just limit yourself to what you think you can do.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic advice. And I would say the same thing, even being a male in the industry and a business owner. Take that leap and try it. You just never know. And I think it's just such a rewarding career. I can't think of anything else. If you're a plumber, an electrician, plumber crap runs downhill. Like
Yeah.
that's the philosophy. An electrician, I tell people this story. I had a guy who was working on a job with me, and he's crawling up in the attic. He's covered in sweat, insulation. I mean, he's hating life. He is not a happy camper. And he's running all the wire to my power supply box. And I mount my power supply box and I run my little piece of wire to the electronic strike and mount my hardware. And I'm wrapped up in, a couple hours, 3-4 hours. And that guy was up there all day long, 8 hours, just dying, hating life. And he asked me, he's like, well, how much did you charge for that? And I was like, I told him, well, here's about what I've got into it. And here's what I charge. And he's like, you made more today than I made all week.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's the locksmith industry. That's this side of it. And I didn't even break a sweat hardly. I run a couple wires here, mount my strikes. Hardware's already ready to go. If you have a good person bidding the job and a good person who knows what they're doing, pairing the hardware for the proper application and the proper doors and the proper frames, it's just as simple as literally bolting everything together and just tying the system together. And so I really think that people should take a look at that, especially even construction, just any of those skilled labor industries. Seriously consider taking a look at becoming a locksmith or a security professional, because the money's great. Depending on where you're at. I don't know how much you're paying your technicians, but mine sure do make top dollar. You can do it on your own. You can work for somebody else. You can get an apprenticeship. You can come to the association and get a ALOA offers a scholarship to people that usually is a very underutilized aspect. And you can really, for a very tiny investment and not having to have years and years of schooling and training and education, you can be making yourself a pretty good living.
We've had guys that have gone to school, like put themselves through $10,000 worth of Lincoln Tech education and they came out of school not knowing anything. Worked with us for 6 months, and were able to, run a truck. So it definitely, you need the education, but you don't need the schooling for it. As long as you apply what you're learning, you're teaching yourself, you can do it. And there's plenty of places that will hire you and teach you as an apprentice or hire you as a trainee. And we try to hire trainees as often as possible. A lot of times right out of high school or while they're still in high school. That's actually how I think 4 or 5 of us started. We started in high school, going to high school half the day and then coming here and then learning. And I think 3 of us are still here. 4 of us are still here.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great way. And that's a great way for business owners who are looking for new technicians, because that's another thing I hear in the industry all the time is people complain about that nobody wants to work. Everybody wants to work from home. If it doesn't involve a phone, they don't want to deal with it, which is, I don't believe that's the case. I think there's lots of people out there who want to earn a good living and who want to actually get out there and work and who want to do it. I think there's quite a few people who still want to do that. And really, the way that skilled labor is disappearing, you can just do really well doing this. I mean, installing a continuous hinge, you've got $150 worth of parts, and I'm charged $850 to install it. That's well over $500 an hour, $600 an hour, and it usually only takes me 30 minutes. So you could even double that. Right. Now you're making attorney rates, doctor rates, people that have $200,000 in debt for college expenses, and you're making the same amount of money. Like it's very appealing. So I hope that resonates with people out there. I hope our conversation resonates with people out there, male or female. And if you are women looking into become part of this industry, the water's fine. Come on in and join. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good shop owners, and there's a lot of good people out there that would really enjoy your skill set and be appreciative of your skill set as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll see you later. And we'll put your contact information down below if anybody wants to get a hold of you. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Locksmith Security Network. LSN is your powerful resource hosted by Winton for all things locksmith and security.